Have you ever wondered what that one-handed handspring trick is that I do in a lot of my combos? Well, that's called a Valdez, and today I'm going to teach you how to do that. Hello everybody, I'm Dom Lewis, also known as Domitrick. I'm here in my home gym, All American Flames Gymnastics. This is a new addition that has been added on. It's like a ninja gym. Now, a lot of you guys have seen a ton of clips from the other part of the gym, maybe a few in this part, but not too many. So now you guys are going to get a little familiar with this area as I teach you how to do the Valdez. Now, before we get started today, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. You can check out some of the tutorials I've done in the past. Make sure you pay attention to this whole tutorial, and then be sure to stay tuned for those to come. Before working on that Valdez, make sure that you have the prereq, which would be a back handspring. You can check out my back handspring tutorial right here, and just make sure that you have a proper, good, strong back handspring before going for the Valdez. Another good thing to have before doing a Valdez is making sure that you have a lot of arm strength. Now, a lot of you will be doing Valdez with your left arm. For me, I do it with my right arm because I do all of my tricks mainly to the right, which is kind of bad because you should be trying to mix it up and do it on both sides anyway, but naturally, you'll either be to your left or to your right. I'm that rare breed that goes to the right. Now anyway, make sure that you're strengthening up those arms. You might as well just strengthen both so that they're equally strong, but focus on making sure that whichever arm you're going to be landing on for the Valdez is exceptionally strong. Now, a back handspring is done using both hands. A Valdez is going to be pretty much essentially the same thing, but it will be done using one hand, which is why I said make sure you have that back handspring before trying the Valdez. Now, Valdez is done using one hand. So, the proper way to do a Valdez, obviously you want to make sure that you are planting that arm down nice and hard. What I do is I bend my arm a little bit. Now, you can have it completely straight as you would for a regular back handspring. I bend mine just a little just because I have enough strength to hold myself up, but if you don't feel strong enough, make sure you're locking out that arm. Now, it is important that you do not turn your hand outward as you do the skill. You can have it straight. I tend to turn mine in a little bit just because it helps me bend that elbow a little, and it gets me a little closer to the ground, so whatever skill I do out of the Valdez can be explosive and shoot up really high into the air. When doing a Valdez, there are two main ways you can end up landing it. Now, that could be on both feet when you're going to do punching skills out of it, being whether it be full, double full, triple full, anything like that that involves you going off of both feet. And then you can also land one foot at a time, and that will involve you ending up doing a Valdez into a swinging skill. All right, so landing on both feet, you can see how you can punch up and get a ton of power out of it. Now landing on one foot, you see how you land one foot at a time. Now I'll show you how you can actually utilize that and swing. I'm sure you've seen me utilize a Valdez a ton and some of the transitions into it. Now, the main transitions that I like to use are scoot and master scoot. There are all kinds that you can do into a Valdez. I'm going to show you guys a few clips of mine, some of my favorite setups into Valdez, and some of my favorite things to do out of Valdez. It's like so low.
Easily.
To reiterate, some of the main basic points of doing a Valdez is having a good back handspring, and again, watch my tutorial on that just so that you make sure you have it nice and proper. Making sure that you have nice strong arms for whichever arm you're doing your Valdez with, so that could be your right or left, and then making sure that as you do it, you're either pushing that arm nice and straight, you can bend a little if you have enough strength to hold yourself, and then also making sure you're never turning your hand out. It can be straight or turned in a tad bit. And then again, remember the different landings you can mess around with, landing on both feet and doing crazy cool punch skills out of it, or landing one foot at a time in order to start swinging out of that Valdez. If you'd like to learn something other than Valdez, I have a bunch of tutorials already on my channel, so you can watch them right now.